Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, you guys, this is from Google Groups. And I'm going to read some of the comments here. Let's see here. Okay, I was just trying to check something out. So this is a little bit old. So smartly, people didn't put their real name. And I imagine a lot of this information as far as screen names and that is out of date. So I like to try to give people anonymity if I can sometimes. Okay. This is dated September 13th, 2006. Becky Boo. Let me make sure I'm on. Okay. Copied from another thread that was getting very, very long. Included things that Alex posted about me playing the deaf card. Wait a minute, you guys. Well, I'm just going to read it. Quote, I take this to mean anyone who argues with Hubbard, regardless of the number of working limbs or neurons they have. But the disabled are always embarrassing, so Scientology probably flee them, like almost everybody else, as Alex's comment indicates. Okay, this is what I wanted. Including children, by the way. Seriously, you were all led to believe that anyone with a disability is an embarrassment? Someone please explain this to me. Thanks. And this religion that you were in, you had to take lie detector tests? At what point did any of you start to say, this is a tiny bit bizarre? That my religion is making me take a lie detector test. A religion that isn't doing any good works, isn't helping anyone out, is taking all the money, no accounting of where it's going. If I try to get out, I can't. But for God's sake, stay the hell away from anyone with a disability. And don't take an aspirin. Nothing in that sounded goofy to anyone at any point. Forgive me if I sound a tiny bit baffled, to put it mildly here. But I am baffled right now. Was there something inside you nagging you all the time that this just doesn't add up? Thanks in advance for helping me understand more. Becky. Formerly Fooled. September 14th, 06. Becky, if my recollection serves me well, the disabled are not so much an embarrassment as they are considered potentially problematic people to steer clear of. They believe it's catchy. How's that for mind control? Truthfully, they probably still don't keep disabled people around long enough to allow them to become an embarrassment. It's pretty sick, hey? They do have disabled people in there, though. Like the brain-injured Buddy from the Lower Ranch in Sky Telepo, Nathan Rich book. Buddy had suffered an accident that caused him a brain injury. And you know what the staff members at the ranch, the Lower Ranch, did to this young disabled boy who incurred his disability on Scientology grounds, on Scientology time, with Scientology parents? They made him a work mule, made him do hard labor because he was strong. He's not the only one. Read it, read it, read it, read it, read it. Muldoon, Becky Boo wrote, okay, I don't want to repeat that one. This is the first post that she made. This is the response. Actually, I don't think deafness is regarded as a disability by most people these days. There are just too many smart deaf people and too many deaf sexy movie actresses for that. I think the comments by Question were thoughtless and a poor attempt at being witty. As far as I know, the person Question who made the comments was never a Scientologist. So you see how they try to get out of stuff? You see that? You guys see? He's just momentarily being a clod. And how would this person know if that guy was in Scientology? It's sickening. There is an unwritten universal law that requires everyone to behave like a clod. Imagine this kind of response. Imagine this. Could it be a current Scientologist, possibly? I mean, I just figured out a way to keep my text messages private. Sorry for that, you guys. I'm expecting a phone call, so I can't put Do Not Disturb on. As far as I know, the person who made the comments... Okay, I already read that. That requires everyone to behave like a clod for a tiny fraction of time, every so often. Obviously, this was a person's turn at it. This is the ignoramus response to this. Wonder what these various disability organizations would think about these statements. If it was current time, it could be unlawful statements, couldn't it? Just saying. As for Alex, his problems are much deeper. Okay, I'm not even reading this. This seems like something to throw off the real topic here. So I'm going to pass this moron. Muldoon, let's just keep our eye on this fool. Okay, this is the original statement. And here's the response. LRH, this is all gaslighting, you guys. It's all gaslighting. This just rages me out a little bit here. LRH makes a lot of statements which, when strung together, forms the overall viewpoint, mindset of all Scientologists towards who, how, and when they will help someone. Well, they don't help homeless people. Scientology makes the able more able. This limits Scientology to those who are able. Isn't it funny how LRH was never able, though, was he? Was he? This person's still in Scientology mindset. The tasks of cleaning the planet is so large that we do not help those who cannot help in return. Sounds like a parasite, doesn't it? Equivalent to medical triage. Help those who help us dump the rest. Like children, too. In Scientology, there is a term called criminal exchange. The criminal is defined as one who takes things without giving anything in return. The corollary to this datum is that giving something for nothing creates criminals. Well, the world must be full of them then. Or maybe they're narcissists. So nothing is ever given without expecting something in return, by force, if need be. That's a narcissistic way to think. What is this word? Propitiation? Propitiation? I never heard of this word. Probably something LRH made up. Defined as giving something to another in the hopes that you will not get harmed. It is considered to be extremely low-toned, emotionally degraded, as if somebody who's not a Scientologist is going to understand what that means. Well, what it means is people low on the tone scale are scum of the earth. That's what it means. Just keep it real. Which is discrimination, which is a hate crime. What else? It could be anti-Semitic. It could be anti-gay, LGBTQ. It could be all those things, couldn't it? Which usually ends up in court of law, usually results in class action lawsuits, usually results in companies being disbanded, but for some weird reason, Scientology can continue this behavior. I was just thinking about that. Who's that guy, the Mormon dude? Jeff. Can't think of his last name right now. He was like one of the top Mormon preachers, and he was literally hiring little girls in a basement of a church. It was like it was sick. And me personally think probably some of that's still going on. But it was all white. And he would take these like 11 and 12-year-old girls and tell them that it was for God that he was doing this. You know what I mean? Virgins. So, and people still follow this moron, this pervert, this pedophile. Oh, God. Low-toned, hence Scientologists have no sympathy. You are entirely responsible for the condition you are in. This comes from the viewpoint that you are an operating Thetan. So it can only be you who put you in the state you are in. It's like karma. If you are disabled, it is because you chose to be in that state. This is PhD level Scientology ethics. Makes me wonder what John Travolta thought of his son. I mean, I don't know. I don't know John Travolta personally. I've heard stories, though. We don't owe Scientology to anyone. There is an LRH policy called illegal PCs, aka the A to J types. These are people who are not allowed to be audited. Can I be on that list, please? Please let me be on that list. Please let me be on that list. It excludes those from the media, press, demonstrations, those who want to do scientific tests, those who are not there on their own free will, the insane, any psychiatrists, and those who have been treated by psychiatrists. You know, like LRH was? I mean, how did LRH get his antipsychotic medications? That doesn't come from nothing. Are not allowed near Scientology. Thank God. These people are considered brain damaged. Psychiatrists are considered pure evil. Well, basically what LRH was. He was pure evil. I hope I don't get my call right now. There are some exceptions. There are people who are disabled who are Scientologists, like Tori. The numbers are very low. Lies. Let's talk about all the children that had accidents in Scientology that LAPD is totally fine with. It's good money. They are even lower for those on staff or in the Sea Org. It is very difficult to audit or get audited if you are missing an arm or are unable to walk on your own. Like Serge Oblensky? Danny Montalvo? Oh, and the, I don't know his name, I'm going to find out. In Nathan Rich's book, he talks about a young boy who had an amputation. I can't remember if he was double amputee or one leg amputee. He was being punished on the fence, and a lot of you guys are familiar with the fence. And they took his legs from him, his prosthetic legs. I'll bet the Disability Commission would love to hear that story, wouldn't they? So they took, because you're not allowed to ask questions, especially as a young person. Wonder whatever happened to that kid. All crimes against humanity, actually. In a way, being a Scientologist is a little bit like being in the army. No, it's not. No, the fuck it's not. The fuck it's not. I was in the army for almost 6 years. The fuck it's not. Please. I mean, the mind control part, maybe? Oh, God. They only want able-bodied people to do battle against perceived imaginary enemies. I don't even want to get into that, because that'll take me off into a long thing. In this religion that you were in, you had to take the lie detector tests. Yes, they are called security checks, sec checks for short. There is a heavy emphasis on uncovering sins called overts in Scientology. The basic theory runs as follows. You do something wrong, this is an overt sin. This overt sin causes you to distance yourself from the general area and the people you have committed an overt sin on. Mind you, let's just remind everybody, like Serge Delmar says, for the people in the back who can't hear, this happens to children. Let's just get that out there. But I guess the Board of Education has been disbanded now, so not that they did anything. You know, it's all in the pyramid people's plans. You guys know who I mean when I say pyramid people. This separation then creates a me versus them, just like Pink Floyd. And you commit more overt sins against them. It also causes you to not see what others are doing. The general behavior of those who have committed overts is called withholds, or what is commonly known as guilty behavior. Can you imagine this, you guys? Can you imagine this? So you just look at someone wrong, or especially the children that are currently in 2025 being raped by adults. Let's just be honest. So just looking guilty. The two terms often put together in one word, OW, short for overt withhold. Looks like Scientology needs to be audited, doesn't it? The Scientology solution to this dwindling spiral is to have you confess your sins, kind of like the Catholic Church, but what do I know? This works up to a point, but Scientology takes it to extremes. If you are not as productive as you should be, you get sec checks, like children do. Yeah. Go read Nathan Rich's book about all the sec checks he had to get over and over and over. Jenna Miscavige's book, and there's a few Scientology books I haven't read yet. I've started reading Paulette Cooper's book again. Of course, she mentions in there child sexual abuse in an auditing session. I'm going to read that one in some time. I don't know when. Just the page where she talks about it. If you are trying to leave, putting distance, you can't leave. You can check in anytime you want, but you just can't. Wait, how does it go? You can check in, but you can never check out. Between you and those who have sinned upon you. Yeah, like the pedophiles. Get a sec check, even if the place stinks. Anytime something major goes wrong in your unit, just stop trying to be like the military. It's a joke. Department or org, the entire crew gets sec checked. It's that mass punishment. You should have seen it coming. You did not see it coming, so you must have made your sins. Unless you're a pedophile, then everything's fine, you guys. The ultimate solution is to chuck Scientology. At what point did any of you start to say this is a tiny bit bizarre? All the way in, smile. I left the Sea Org when I realized the RTC, most church management, was nuts. I gotta wonder who is writing this. A lot of us left the church in the 1980s, but I was still a Scientologist. I quit being a Scientologist on my own. For me, it was the equivalent of a reverse self-induced psychotic break. That's a good way to explain it. Only then did it become possible to be willing to Google for people like David Mayo, Vaughn Young, and read what others had to say and what they went through, except for the children, because the children don't have a voice in Scientology. Or in the Mormons, or in the Jehovah's Witnesses, or in the Children of God family. Can you imagine the Children of God calling themselves the family cults? That my religion is making me take a lie detector test. I gave up on sect checks when I realized Scientology ethics was not working as it should. The reason why it is complex to explain, you have to understand the mechanics of mind control, as it is used within Scientology. Religion that isn't doing any good works, isn't helping anyone, okay. Taking all my money, no accounting of where it's going if I try to get out, I can't. But for God's sake, stay the hell away from anyone with a disability. Okay. All right, I don't want to keep reading that same initial statement over and over. So now they respond. The short answer is Scientology is a mind control operation. Facts, facts. Its purpose still is to abuse people for the energy, their money, to wield the power of fanatics. It's what I keep talking about, energy harvesting. It's black magic. Hello? You are getting hypnotized without your consent. Auditing. Facts. I was just thinking about this yesterday. They're putting everyone in a trance state. Auditing involves controlled communication and controlled attention. You get stuffed with endless datums that are near truths. Together with total absurdities, you can sometimes see that something is not right, but by then you keep trying to compute your way out, which is not allowed in Scientology. Yeah, you can't question. And your mind jams up, or you keep going back to the org and try to fix it. It's like a hamster on a wheel. And you run into more people that are even more screwed into their heads. Scientology was designed to introvert you into your own mind. It is very, very nasty. It creates schizophrenia. Z. Okay, I'm going to break this up into 2 or 3 videos to make these shorter. So I'll come back to this later. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Peace.